if any of your audience are wanting to become paid speakers, I say to people all the time, Instagram and YouTube will drive your audiences who will crave you, and LinkedIn will drive the clients who will pay you. And that's how I differentiate it. So I love LinkedIn full stop, not just for me, but for my clients. We have been focusing on building out our network. We're now getting better at our content. But most of the stuff for us now is deriving out of LinkedIn. The powerful, powerful pattern for us is actually if someone finds our podcast, binges our podcast, connect with us on LinkedIn, they end up as a client, and it's fast. It can happen within a week, straight through. So that pathway is straight through. So I find LinkedIn really powerful for a number of reasons. We're still underutilizing it, but now we've built out a team that will actually really up the ante. And to be very honest, moving forward, will be YouTube, podcast, LinkedIn will be our key strategy.
Yeah, yeah. I love that. I love how you said you had that kind of funnel is they see you on the podcast and then they come to your LinkedIn. Us, we have that strategy is like we'll push the long form content on YouTube, but then we can repurpose that gold and put it to the audience who will actually pay you, which is awesome. And then another thing is another little key strategy. What we noticed is remember, these platforms, they want people on their platforms longer. It's retention.
Yes.
Even popping like some of our long form 10-minute videos, 15-minute videos, pop that on LinkedIn. The people who are paying you can spend 10 minutes watching your content. And then LinkedIn is going to push it out to them because that's how LinkedIn makes money. They make money off the ads. So those strategies, like you're saying, using the YouTube distribution, Instagram, cool, you can put it up on there just to have that presence. But when you repurpose that gold in what you do, your expertise, that speaking, you pop it onto the people who are paying you and the people there who are in a mindset to learn and grow. And you do that over a consistent period of time. Again, this is a long-term game. A lot of people just come on LinkedIn to get clients. No, come on LinkedIn to provide value, to connect, to partner with people. And it's going to be a byproduct to your business. Wealth is always a byproduct of what you provide. But I think LinkedIn just shows you. And like you said earlier in this conversation, I wrote it down, is the visibility in front of the right people. Where is your next customer coming from? Well, I think we just talked about it here. You do that content and have it on LinkedIn showing who you are. Boom, that's the goal.
And that's a really important thing as well. Speakers actually, so many people, especially emerging speakers, and by emerging speakers, a CEO who's always been corporate who suddenly wants to expand his audience, that's emerging, right? I don't care what you like. The minute you turn into, I want a stage bigger than my role, that's an emerging speaker. I'm not talking about an age thing. And this is why most marketing agencies get it wrong. This is why most graphic designers get it wrong. This is why most content people get it wrong. Your content on social, particularly LinkedIn, is for the client. It's not for your audience. Right? I say to people all the time, people say, oh, am I speaking to my audience or the client? I'm like, who's writing your check? Right? And so many people, especially as speakers and thought leaders and experts, and especially if they're new to the game, as you know, a lot of people when they're coming out of C-suite and in corporate, they're quite new to the whole digital. So it's like a whole new world for them, right? So you, the audience and the client, no one is more important than the other. You need the audience to love what you do. But people think that actually creating what the audience loves gets you the work. And we find so many people that audiences love that are making no money. And it's because they don't understand that your marketing, so your audience build can be the audience, but your marketing and your sales is about the client. Who's writing your checks and signing your contracts? And that changes how you show up on LinkedIn. So a lot of people are all over LinkedIn. We've just had a strategy we followed for a little bit that we're actually about to change because it's not in complete service to the audience. So we're about to actually ditch it and go back to what we know works. But your content, your positioning, your marketing, your sales is about the client. So if you want to be paid to speak, that's about conference organizers, that's about event managers, that's about event owners, that's about speaker bureaus, CEOs and C-suite people who decide who the speakers are going to be at the big events. That's who you're marketing to. You're not marketing to the general audience who loves your story.
And when you know who you're marketing to, you speak their language, you directly target them. Like you said, everyone else can enjoy it. Yes, you enjoy it. If you get value from it and take those tips and strategies, great, good on you. But I'm speaking to this direct person and you target them, speak their language, and they'll be, even going and saying you're a speaker bureau, like speaking directly to them,
Yeah. And that's one of the reasons why as that light bulb I had, because to market as a speaking coach and trainer, that's one type of client. To market as a professional speaker, that's a different type of client. And that's why I was stuck. Like, how am I actually going to differentiate this in LinkedIn? Right. So I can still repurpose the YouTube content into LinkedIn to add value and the podcast content, but actually My marketing on YouTube, because that's business to consumer, our marketing on YouTube is going to be directly for any given Tuesday. The marketing for my professional speaking and re-entering that game has to be to the event owners and conference organizers and that sort of stuff. And that's a different game on LinkedIn. So that's why I was trying to work out how to actually do it, because as a coach, your audience is quite often your client, right? As an agency, your audience is quite often your client. As a speaker, facilitator, workshop deliverer, whatever it might be, your audience is usually not your client. Your client is the person writing the check. Your audience is the people filling the room. Right. So it's different for professional speakers, and it's different for people who want to cross over from being an expert in a role to being paid to speak. And so that's one of the key distinctions that most people miss when it comes to this.
Actually ask you a question. I want you to think about this question. Are you an authority figure in your space? I know you're an entrepreneur, you're determined, you're a thought leader, but the question is, are you an authority figure in your space? Because let's be honest, how are you going to separate yourself from your competitors? Where is your personal brand? And you know what? We have actually something very special for you. Follow me. You see, we have a scorecard, right? So you can actually evaluate if you're an authority figure in your space, because at the end of the day, when you are, you separate yourself from your competitors. That is where opportunities come to you because your brand is strong. You have brand equity. So for you to actually see how long away you are from that, or if you're close there, the link in the description, you can fill out a scorecard. And this scorecard is amazing because it lets us know and see where you are. And it's just for free for you to actually see where your business is, how you're going to get to that level of being an authority figure in your space. Because you see, here at ETS from Basher Media, I'm going to be honest with you, we are at limited capacity. We only want to be able to tailor our clients to the ones we know we can deliver value, because value takes time and we want to be able to work with your business. But the scorecard is actually just for you to see where you are and are you an authority figure? Think about it, and we'll see you. Link in the description.
If you really enjoyed this video, make sure to click here, and I'm sure you're going to love that one.